Previously on Hunting Hitler.
So this is from June 12, 1945. At this time, the decision had been taken to divide the ministries in two parts and establish one government in the north and one in the south.
What this file tells me is they're splitting up, creating multiple escape routes. This is big. We have Hitler spotted on the 24th of April in Hohenlohe, and this is 6 days before he supposedly committed suicide in the bunker. 4 days later, we have a separate independent witness identify him leaving by airplane.
We got to see what's going on down there.
What's that one?
Holy.
So, das sieht aus wie ein Anlassmotor.
For the Me-262.
This is the fastest jet the world has ever seen.
If Hitler himself was here and boarded one of these things, he was out of here in a hurry.
This file tells us that Kaltenbrunner, commander-in-chief, all German forces in Southern Europe, crosses the border into Austria with more than a ton of paper and dumps it. This is huge.
Ich kann mir das vorstellen, dass der von Kaltenbrunner.
He's saying he is absolutely positive Kaltenbrunner would have hid something in the lake.
Wow.
Okay, you see something.
It's quite a large rectangular object.
This is huge, and it could be nothing other than man-made.
Let's get to shore. We need to get this dive started.
Kaltenbrunner is the center of Hitler's network. If Hitler intended to escape Berlin, he would use Kaltenbrunner. His activities at the end of the war are going to tell us what their intentions were.
21-year CIA veteran Bob Baer and former terrorist targeting officer Neda Bakos are using asset mapping, the strategy used to dismantle the leadership of Al-Qaeda and ISIS, to track Hitler's known associates and pinpoint exactly where he could have gone after the end of World War II. The team is investigating two potential escape routes for Adolf Hitler after the war: a northern route through Hohenlohe, Germany, and a southern route through Altesee, Austria, where a declassified CIA document claims Hitler's close associate, Ernst Kaltenbrunner, discarded a cache of secret documents, including possible Nazi escape plans, in a nearby lake.
I think things probably collapsed a lot faster than they expected. And any time people like this are on the run, they're disposing of stuff any way they can.
This tells me that they didn't have a lot of time, because the proper protocol for any government when they're extricating from a facility is to burn the documents. Throwing things into the lake is the next best step if they don't have time to burn it. They have to do something that they think will get rid of it.
If the plan was to get Hitler out of Europe into South America, it would be in these documents.
Let's get them diving.
Is this my tank?
This is your tank.
Okay, everything's looking good.
Along Hitler's potential southern escape route in Altesee, World War II historian James Holland and U.S. Army Green Beret Mike Simpson have assembled an expert dive team led by Gerhard Kaiser. The team prepares to dive on a large man-made object they identified using side-scanning sonar.
Okay, you see something.
It's quite a large sort of rectangular object.
And it could be nothing other than man-made. Worth diving on that?
Absolutely. If this document's cache is here and we find it, this could potentially unlock all of the secrets to every escaped Nazi of that time period. Potentially, this is like a big water-filled time capsule that's just been preserving all this stuff. Whatever it might have been could still be out there.
We'll be right by here, Mike.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Mike and Gerhard will swim the 65 feet from shore to the location of their sonar head.
open here. Let's go. I think I see something. Holy. Look at this thing. It's huge. Looks like a truck. That's a truck.
Mike, can you see anything?
Yeah. Is a vehicle.
What?
Yes. It looks like a vehicle was pushed out into the lake. Looks like some type of cargo utility vehicle. The metal frame is very rusted, but there's wooden slats in the roof. The fact that we were able to identify possibly an abandoned Nazi vehicle is huge. Could have been filled with these documents.
Can you swim around it and see if you can find anything from it?
Yeah.
There's something over there. What is that? It's nothing. What's going on? See something in the silk. What is that? Oh my God! It's like a bayonet. We've got a bayonet. Look! Over there. What is that? Some kind of metal.
Mike!
We get a little closer to the boat.
What have you got there?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Looks like a bayonet of some type.
Yeah, it is a bayonet. That's a Gerbler German infantryman's bayonet. I mean, that's just standard issue. This is an amazing condition, isn't it?
Look at this.
Oh, wow. Pretty sure that's an Iron Cross. And that is a kind of like a wound medal or a campaign medal. We didn't find quite what we were looking for. But we have found this vehicle, we have found some medals, and we have found a bayonet. That means that the Nazis were dumping stuff. The question is, why? Why are they doing this?
What we found was this vehicle, and then we found medals, a bayonet, which was thrown in contemporaneously with the fleeing Nazis.
While the team continues to investigate Hitler's potential southern escape route in Austria, Bob and Nada turned their attention to the northern escape route in Rechlin, Germany, where a declassified file claims Hitler was taken away from an airfield 2 days before he was believed dead.
The team at Rechlin found a bunker that actually ended up being bombed, but within that wreckage, they found a part of the Messerschmitt Me-262.
This is the fastest jet the world has ever seen.
At the time, it's flying 100 miles per hour faster than any jet out there.
To put it simply, you could just outrun the Allied Air Force. This is the flight radius of an Me-262. At the end of the war, everybody's heading south. The Russians are heading south, the Allies are here. So where do you go? You go north. But what do we get up here? Well, Sweden, we know, was neutral during the war. Norway, on the other hand, there were still Nazi troops, and he could have been perfectly safe for months.
On April 9th, 1940, the Nazis successfully invaded Norway. The Norwegian government was forced into exile, and the Nazis continued to rule the country until the end of World War II. Allied forces never landed in Norway, and the last German soldier there did not surrender until 4 months after the war had ended.
The Germans looked at Norwegians as a superior race, as one of them, as part of the tribe. It was a place that the Nazis felt comfortable. Here we go. Reporting agency MI6, Nazi defensive strategy, Norway. The line of coastal fortresses in southern Norway started from Kristiansand with the Nazi base of Battery Vara. This file's telling us that they've got Nazi bases up there.
If Hitler was flying up to Norway, they would have had support. Which airfield would be closest?
This is southern Norway. We know that the range of the Me-262 could cover all this. And what do we have here? Kjevik Airfield, well-known Nazi air base. And then, going back to that document, you've got Battery Vara, coastal defense. And this is clearly in range of Reckling. We got to check this out.
If you didn't want somebody to get through this pass, you put one gun there and it's locked down.
Tim Kennedy, U.S. Army Special Forces, investigative journalist Gerard Williams, and their local contact Osbjorn land in Kristiansand, Norway, a possible stop along Hitler's potential northern escape route.
We're heading to Battery Vara, which is on the tip of Kristiansand. We're going there to see whether or not this huge base would have been part of a northern escape route. If you try and put yourself in the place of a high-ranking Nazi trying to flee the collapsing Nazi empire, you would need safety and security.
Tim? No, Tim.
Right.
Pleasure.
Gerard.
The team makes contact with Roald Andersen, the caretaker at Battery Vara.
We're interested in this area to see if this could have been a stop-off point for escaping Nazis. Who was stationed here?
600 krigsmarine og 150 Wehrmachtsoldater.
So it was 50 houses with soldiers there. It was 10,150 landmines around there.
Yeah. That's a lot of landmines.
Can you tell us a little bit about the cannon?
So this is like a German-style cannon. They had 4 right there and 4 in Denmark.
And what's the range of this?
55 kilometers.
34 miles.
So on the northern coast of Denmark, we have a massive battery, a cannon. And then on the southern tip of Norway, we have these lining the coast with interlocking sectors of fire that is completely locking down the coast. You have a choke point. Nobody can get in and out without being in the effective range of these massive guns.
You can't successfully invade Denmark or Norway by sea.
I've been in the military for 15 years. I have never seen a gun that size. This might have been one of the largest weapons on Earth. But why did they build them here? What were they protecting? If this is part of Adolf Hitler's northern escape route, I have to see what else is here.
1,000 feet north of the coastal defense cannon, the team gets access to one of Battery Vara's heavily fortified bunkers.
Where's the entrance? Right there? Wow, this is massive.
The size of the rooms, Tim.
Oh my God. Holy
Die Tresse ist das Mark der Ära. Our belief is at the core of our world, or the core of us, at the heart of us.
I mean, this is rich Nazi propaganda.
It's probably straight out of Mein Kampf.
What were they doing here?
The radio is down there.
So you'd be able to talk to somebody from here and put somebody in the battery.
This is still in great shape.
130 lines are running through these lines.
130 landlines are running directly to here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Battery Vara, you have 4 15.5-inch cannons, fortified bunkers, and a complex system of communication. These are all things that need to be there if this is part of Adolf Hitler's northern escape route. Why, at the end of the war, is this so important?
It's to protect the exit point and the entrance point.
Yeah, but of what? So we're talking 1945, after the fall of Berlin. So what are they protecting here? What is so important that you still need 15-inch guns in a complex, interconnected battery system?
He don't want to say it, but he thinks it's about special weapons.
Nuclear weapons.
Okay, I mean, that's massive. Adolf Hitler, his only hope for any significant existence
is a vengeance weapon of some sort. This is incredibly important at the end of the war. He's obsessed with it.
And these guns are protecting it.
A wonder weapon, a super weapon, whatever you want to call the damn things. There are rumors that Nazi scientists are working as fast and as hard as they can to develop Hitler's vengeance weapons. He wants to see New York in flames. He wants to destroy 4 million Russians on the Eastern Front. It would be enough to enable Nazi Germany to go on to do what they originally planned to do, world domination.
In the 19th century, this place was an absolute hotbed of Nazis.
Along Hitler's potential southern escape route in Altisee, Austria, James and Mike are following a declassified CIA file claiming that Nazis had discarded potential escape plans in a nearby lake.
Okay, it's right in there.
Here.
After finding Nazi artifacts in Lake Altisee, the team and their translator Katja make contact with Gerhard Sauner, a local diver and historian.
During the dive into Lake Altisee, we retrieved some artifacts, a bayonet and a couple of German badges. Gerhard Sauner, he's been diving these lakes for over 50 years. Hopefully he can answer why 2 badges and a bayonet went in the lake. I found these. We were hoping that you could tell us a little bit more about them.
Super. Das ist für den Krieg in Finnland.
That's called the Frozen Medallion because it's from the war in Finland.
Und das ist für eine Schlacht in Russland.
And that's from a battle on the Eastern Front. There are a great many battles, and for each one, they created a different medal.
And then everyone was just throwing it away at the end of the war.
Ja. Ja, das Tauchen ist sehr interessant.
Oh, wow, look at that. Ah. So what's this one?
EK1.
An EK1, he says.
That's an uncrossed first class.
So these aren't just dog tags and unit insignia that people are throwing in. I mean, people are throwing in the equivalent of, Silver Star, Distinguished Service Cross. It must have been difficult for somebody to let it go. As someone who's spent 3 decades in uniform, I can say that your personal identity is very much entwined with who you are as a soldier. The idea that these soldiers were stripping off their uniforms entirely, awards of valor, campaign medals, and throwing them into the lake tells me they were literally shedding their identities. The way that I look at it, you're standing on the edge of the water, throwing all of your insignia and your medals into the lake. You're about to start a new life on the run, and you're preparing to flee.
Everyone threw everything away because then no one was a Nazi.
Eine neue Welt.
Wow.
He says there was something more important, and that was survival.
You have to remember that you've got the Americans coming from the west, you've got the Russians coming from the east and the southeast. You know, before the Allies come, you're just going to get rid of this.
This is a classic tactic that is used for fugitives all around the globe. The Nazis were able to shed their identities and freely travel just about anywhere in the world. The question now is, where were they going from there? I find this really chilling.
The team's local contact has uncovered a living eyewitness who may have information on Nazi war criminals' movement through the area at the end of the war.
It's so rare in Austria to find what we call Zeitzeugen, time witnesses, who are still alive today and are willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
They make contact with Johann Lindordner, one of the oldest residents of Altesee.
Herr Lindorder.
Ja?
Guten Morgen.
And what's suddenly becoming really, really clear is that Nazis in this area were discarding their identities and going on the run. What's less clear is where they could have escaped to. We're really hoping he's going to be able to cast some light on those final days of the Third Reich here in Altesee.
We know lots of Nazis were fleeing here, but what we're trying to do is get a picture of what Altesee was like at the very end of the war.
Die haben sich alle nicht angemeldet.
There were so many Nazis here that the general population didn't really think about it too much.
Ganz sicher ist der Eichmann.
Eichmann, as in Adolf Eichmann?
He said Eichmann.
And we all know what happened to him. He got away.
Yeah.
And knowing that he used Altesee potentially as a stepping off point as well, and got away, that's interesting.
Eichmann is the administrator who organized the rounding up of the Jews and sent millions of them to their deaths in the death camps, and then eventually made his escape to South America. Now we're hearing that Eichmann was here in Altesee. So you have to ask yourself, well, if Eichmann was in Altesee, there has to be a way out of here.
So he fled from here to the west with false papers and money that he'd been given by Kaltenbrunner.
What happened to Kaltenbrunner?
Kaltenbrunner fled from here to a hunting lodge that was up in the pasture lands of the Todesgebirge, of the Dead Mountains here.
Do you have a name?
Wildenseehütte.
So while Kaltenbrunner was in the northeast, Eichmann fled west.
Yes.
Interesting. Eichmann and Kaltenbrunner were both here at the same time. Two people who are directly tied into Adolf Hitler's circle of trust. But the fact that Eichmann escaped to the west while Kaltenbrunner fled in an entirely different direction. That raises a question. What was going on here?
One of the reasons they went to Austria was to shed their identity.
What you're getting rid of is the swastika or any campaign medals to show that you'd been a soldier.
While the team continues to investigate Hitler's potential southern escape route through Austria, Bob and Nada shift their focus to the findings from the northern escape route.
The team's found a lot in Norway. It's a fortress. The bunkers, the communications, the defenses.
This evidence points to the fact that this could have been the next stop on the northern escape route.
Not only that, they're protecting a secret weapons operation. Hitler was obsessed with the ultimate weapon which would allow them to conquer the world. We found in South America the physical evidence they were making a secret weapons program.
This map depicts a plan to bomb the United States, and more specifically, Manhattan Island.
This is to prevent radiation from escaping. That's how close they were.
Can we find proof of a weapons operation in Norway?
Let's take a look. Here we go. MI6, 1944, intercepted telegram. The most important technical advance in the war is the research on this new type of weapon. Germany has a large hydroelectric plant for this in the vicinity of Rjukan, Norway. They've got a special weapons plant here in Rjukan, Norway.
When ISIS went into Mosul and captured territory, they were using the infrastructure that the Iraqis had built. They took over their oil supply.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the Nazis did. Every country they invaded, they used whatever technology was predominant. If the Nazis are taking over a hydroelectric plant, it's for a purpose. They're not doing it to make money. They need this facility to create weapons of mass destruction.
I want to know how far they got with this plan.
What's going on in Rjukan will tell us what their plans were for the Fourth Reich. We've got to find out what they were doing there.
We're getting close to where we're supposed to be.
It's very rugged.
Following Hitler's potential northern escape route, Tim and Gerard hit the ground in Rjukan, Norway, home of the Vemork hydroelectric plant.
God, it's incredibly well built.
Hello.
Hi. Hello there.
The team makes contact with facilities manager Runar Leia and Vemork historian Frederick Sarita.
We have intelligence that they were making components of a weapon of mass destruction here at Vemork. We need to find out what they're making and what happened to it.
Oh, it's impressive.
Yeah. Actually, this was the world's largest power plant when it opened in 1911. And produced electricity enough to make artificial fertilizer down in the center of Rjukan.
Made fertilizer, so phosphate mining here.
That's right, yeah.
But you can also make explosives from fertilizer.
You can make explosives from fertilizer, but we don't do that.
No.
The byproduct was heavy water.
Heavy water it was made here?
It was made here, yes.
Heavy water is one of the most important components of a nuclear bomb. Heavy water plus uranium equals plutonium, and that's a nuclear bomb.
Heavy water is a form of water with added mass and alternate chemical properties. It's created by running large amounts of electrical current through normal water. In the 1940s, heavy water reactors fueled by uranium were used to create plutonium, the explosive component in a nuclear bomb.
So how much did they make here?
And they're making quite a lot of it here. It's on an industrial scale. So in the beginning, they were making about 1 ton a year, and then in 41 already, I think, they were having a production of more than 12 tons of heavy water at this facility.
This is scary. This is Adolf Hitler developing a component for a nuclear weapon. Adolf Hitler could have a nuclear bomb.
Before you had.
Yeah.
And that would have changed the world completely.
So this heavy water, which is what they needed for their nuclear program, where were they making it and where were they storing it?
They made this huge factory in 9 stories, and in the basement, the production of heavy water was established.
Does it still exist?
No, they tore it down. The building was demolished.
Is there any access into what that basement area was?
We're not quite sure. No one's been there.
We have to find if there's any way to get into this basement.
I completely agree with you.
I need to find out what happened to that heavy water. If they had hopes, any aspirations of having a Fourth Reich in South America, they're not going to be leaving Europe without it. They're going to bring it with them. Can you get us to that area where we can maybe find an access point?
I can point out the direction for you.
Let's go see.
Yeah.
The team travels to an overlook a half a mile away from the hydroelectric plant to gain a better vantage point of the area where the heavy water factory once stood.
We can take a look at those.
Yeah.
You can see the power plant. So this is our perspective right here. At least we can see where the corner of the factory was. And the bottom floor, it's where that tree line is.
Yep.
Which means that the basement is going to be even below that. Now it's figuring out where to go in. Where do you think our best chance to find an entry point is?
If you'll be able to find anything, it will be behind the trees there.
There is something right on that cliff face. That could be our access point.
Tim has spotted what could be an entrance into the factory's former basement.
We know what Adolf Hitler did with trains and gas chambers. Millions of lives were lost. The thought of him having a weapon of mass destruction, a nuclear weapon, there's nothing scarier. We need to figure out exactly how close they really got.
So how the hell did you get at it?
We gotta climb.
The team in Rjukan found out they were manufacturing heavy water.
They were not using heavy water for a power reactor. They were using it to make a nuclear bomb.
While the team in Norway continues investigating Hitler's potential northern escape route, Bob and Nada turn their attention to the southern escape route through Altasee, Austria.
The team has actually talked to a resident in Altasee who said that Kaltenbrunner fled up into the Alps.
Adolf Eichmann is an Altasee, too. Eichmann was one of the most wanted Nazis after Hitler. We know he made it to South America. So we now know the southern escape route was absolutely a legitimate escape route for high-ranking Nazis. We no longer have to prove this route would have worked. It's not a hypothetical. We've got a mass murderer who takes the route and gets to Argentina. Now we have to find out, could Hitler have used the southern route?
So we know Eichmann gets away to Argentina, but what happens to Kaltenbrunner?
The witness in Altasee, he told us about a hut up in the mountains where Kaltenbrunner was hiding out. I want to find out what went on at this hut. There we go.
So this one's from U.S. Army, last days of Ernst Kaltenbrunner. On 12 May 1945, Kaltenbrunner was arrested at Altasee, Austria. He had been hiding in a mountain cabin called Wildensee Hut. So Kaltenbrunner was captured. Why is Eichmann getting away from Altasee and Kaltenbrunner is not?
If anybody knows his way out of Austria, it's Kaltenbrunner. He's got networks, he's got people, he knows how to get away. So why'd he hang out in this hut? What was so special about this hut?
Along Hitler's potential southern escape route in Altasee, Mike and James have secured a helicopter to travel the nearly 5,000 vertical feet up to the remote alpine hut where Ernst Kaltenbrunner was captured.
As an investigator, it's very important for me to see the location of the Wildensee Hut. I know that Kaltenbrunner was there. I know he was captured there. That tells me there's something going on here. I need to know why this location is so important.
Look at all that rock, James.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to walk over that?
It's remote, all right, isn't it? What really strikes you when you're in the helicopter is just how remote this is. I mean, you know, there is nothing else around. All you can just see is vast expanse of mountainous terrain. You know, if Kaltenbrunner wants to get out of here, where's he going to go?
This is worst type of terrain possible if you're trying to make an escape.
What's this up here? Over there, look.
That's it. That's where we need to go. Get us as close as possible.
Right here, run off. We're good, we're good. You're out of the rotors.
Let's go and have a look.
This is exactly what they saw back then when they came up here.
Once on the ground, you can see what a treacherous landscape this is. And then you get into the actual hut. It's rustic, it's roughly made. This is just a simple wooden mountain shack. This is not a place for long-term habitation. It's got a stove, it's got some facilities, but pretty basic. If you're trying to flee, surely he couldn't have gone all this way to this hut with no ongoing escape route already prepared. What was this guy up to? We should see whether there is a path out of here.
So we're looking east-southeast, this way.
Okay, that's not a route, is it? I mean, look at that.
No, not a place you want to go, either coming up or going down.
That way is Altasee. That is the route from which he's just come. You know, he knows the Americans are hot on their tails. He's not going to go back down that route.
There's no way you're going to escape this way.
This is what we're looking at. Here's that ridge that we're looking up here.
Yep.
It's a monster ridge. And what's the other side? More of the same, so it just gets higher.
Yeah, look, we're in a little nice little bowl here.
Yep.
But we're literally
Surrounded.
So you're going into a box canyon.
This is a dead-end spot.
Terrible.
Everything about Kaltenbrunner's capture just seems slightly out of kilter to me. You're looking at the simplicity of this hut. You're looking at the difficulty of the terrain around you, and you realize that this is clearly a dead end. And Kaltenbrunner must have known this. So you're starting to think, why did he come up here?
What if his sole purpose was drawing somebody up into the absolute worst direction to flee, that it's going to take him a long time to get up into and only one way back out to give somebody else more time to get out of here?
You know, if he's up here kind of waiting to be the fall guy, that would give time for other people to start moving these networks elsewhere.
He's going to draw all that attention on himself in this little cabin. Meanwhile, everyone else, including Adolf Eichmann, or possibly Adolf Hitler himself, is using all these better routes to get out of here. That basically he's willing to give himself up here at this cabin. Kaltenbrunner was fiercely loyal to the Reich, fiercely loyal to the Fuhrer. Could it possibly have been that Kaltenbrunner was being the sacrificial lamb to draw suspicion away and give others time to escape and time to plan the Fourth Reich?
So we know that there's a subterranean area here.
Without a doubt.
Along Adolf Hitler's potential northern escape route in Rjukan, Norway, Tim and Gerard are investigating a hydroelectric plant where a declassified MI6 telegram claims the Nazis were running a secret weapons operation.
It's hopefully our guy.
Okay.
To reach the cliffside location of a possible entry point into the basement of a former heavy water storage facility, the team has called in local climbing guide, Hogan Skipper.
Hogan?
Hello?
Tim, pleasure to meet you. The Nazis were making heavy water in the basement of a facility that was destroyed on this property. No one knows what happened to the heavy water that was in that facility. We have to see if there's any still here, or if this heavy water could have moved out of Norway to South America. When we're scouting and reconning from over there with the binoculars, we could see that retaining wall, or what could potentially have been an entrance. I want you to get on a radio with my binoculars, get on that side, and you're gonna be my eyes. You're gonna walk me into that door.
Okay. Good luck.
Safety lines first.
Safety lines first.
Tim will be the first person to try to access the basement since it was destroyed in 1945. Gerard travels to the other side of the ravine to guide him toward their target.
All right, lock that in right there. Lock.
Okay. Gerard, this is Tim, over.
And once I pop out, you're gonna have to guide me, so make sure you stay on ice.
Understood. Tim, I can see the crack we were talking about earlier. You seem to be just on the tree line. You need to come maybe 30 feet to your right.
Okay, that's good. Keep coming over. Oh, you're in a good place.
Stop right there, Tim.
Underneath the wall, it's just rock. There's 2 more overhangs, but there's nothing below it. This is not a way in. We're gonna have to scout this entire mountainside to see if there is another access point.
In order to find an alternate entry point into the basement of the former heavy water factory, Tim scours the square mile of forest where the facility once stood.
It's rather steep here.
This is the area. There's something over there. There's some cement. Right here. This is a space. This is a hole right here. It's only a couple inches, but it goes straight back.
200 feet from the main building, Tim has located what appears to be a small hole leading into the basement of the former heavy water factory.
This has potential. Right now, this hole in the ground is our best chance of finding out what potentially happened with this heavy water. I could be just feet away from real, actual, physical evidence that the Nazis were developing a nuclear bomb. We might just be able to lift some of this off and then cut 1 or 2 of these bars, which might give us a big enough hole to get in there.
Let's try it out. All right.
Almost there. That's a cave.
It is.
I think I can fit in there. Gerard, this is Tim, over.
Yes, Tim.
Hey, we made about a 2.5-foot hole, probably big enough for me to slip down. I'm gonna go in to see what exactly is around this corner.
Roger that.
Tim? Tim?
Yeah, man. Hogan.
Yep.
Everything is just rubble. It's all rebar and cement.
Okay, no way of going further?
No, there's no way we're gonna get 1 foot deeper. I can see deeper through this rubble. I see a room back there. There's nothing in there. It's empty. Those barrels of heavy water are gone. We have to know where it went and what they were gonna do with it. This was their chance of making the Fourth Reich a reality.
Next time on Hunting Hitler.
What was going on in this place?
At the end of the war, the Nazis falsified British money.
Counterfeit money?
Yes.
That's incredible. If you want a system that can help Nazis get out of here and away to freedom, this is about as good as it gets.
If we're gonna find any evidence of heavy water, one of the necessary components to making a nuclear weapon, where should I look?
The best place to look is in this area, underwater.
This is unbelievable. We have a U-boat.